How cool was that? Damn. All right. The safest thing you can do is to take risks. The riskiest thing you can do is to play it safe. I love that phrase by Seth Godin because it clearly shows what's the reality of our life today. We live in a world in which our ability to take risks has a big impact on our success and on what we accomplish. Because think about it. You are where you are, not because of luck. You are where you are because you took risks others were not willing to take. And when I'm talking about risk, I'm not talking about doing something stupid. I'm not talking about doing something dangerous, something that put you on harm's way. I'm talking about trying new things. I'm talking about experimenting. Even if you're uncertain that you're going to be able to make it. Because that's the only way that you're going to be able to grow. Now, an interesting thing is that life's best lessons come from very unusual places. And a place where I found really, really valuable lessons is the circus. And if we're talking about taking risks, well, we can look at flying trapeze artists and understand how important it is for them to be able to take risks every single time they perform. Think about it. Every single time they get on stage, they put everything on the line. What they do requires high levels of skill, high level of precision, and every single time there is this uncertainty if they're going to be able to make it. But somehow they do. I just realized that maybe it's not a good idea for me to be showing you these pictures, because actually that guy over there, that's me. And yeah, thank you. And I just realized that for the rest of my presentation, you're not going to look at me as the speaker, but you're going to see me as the guy wearing white tights. Yes. And that's why, especially for you today, no, I'm just kidding. No. Yeah, I'm not wearing my white ties, don't worry. I'm here today because I want to share with you 7 very valuable lessons from the world of trapeze flying. And in case you're wondering why 7, well, first of all, 7, it's a lucky number for a lot of people. It's a very nice number. And the second reason is because when you put all of them together on the right order, they make the word trapeze. You see what I did there? Huh? So today I want to talk about each of them, and let's go individually for each of them. Timing. Timing is everything on the flying trapeze. If you take off from the platform a second too late or a second too early, you are going to miss the catch. Now, being able to do that requires a lot of hard work, requires a lot of precision. It's not like just happens, you know? You take off from the board, you do your thing, and there's a catch, boom. No, you need to work really hard to be able to accomplish that. And in life, it's exactly the same way. But somehow, we don't appreciate the hard work that gets you to being in the right place at the right time. How many of you have heard this phrase before? Now, the funny thing is that when we think about being in the right place at the right time, very often we think about luck. You just happen to be there. How lucky you are. Well, luck matters. Yes, sometimes you just happen to be lucky, but in reality, you can influence your luck. As Anthony Tian said, luck is more about the right attitude and the right relationships than anything else. Think about that. Attitude. Your attitude is going to have a huge impact on your ability to being at the right place at the right time. When I'm talking about attitude, I'm talking about humility. Being self-aware, knowing that you are not the best or that you don't know everything. Talking about curiosity. being open to learn, looking at new topics, hungry for knowledge, and optimism. These three elements have an impact on your attitude, which as a result have an impact on your relationships. And if you put all this together and you sum it up with hard work and dedication, trust me, you're going to find yourself being at the right place at the right time a lot of times. That's number one. Number two, resilience. Being a flying trapeze artist can be very, very frustrating. Why? You learn a trick, you work on it, you try, you fall. And then you go again and again, and sometimes you catch it, sometimes you don't, sometimes you miss, sometimes you fall on your head, sometimes it hurts. Well, a lot of times it hurts, but you get the point. You're falling a lot. And sometimes things start to go well, and you fail. Well, I have news for you. You are going to fail. Even more, sometimes you're going to accomplish an epic fail. But that's okay. Because failure is not an option, but it's a reality. Failure is part of the game. And you need to understand that if you want to accomplish anything, you need to understand that there is this delicate balance between refusing to accept failure and embracing it when it happens. Don't be afraid of failing, because you're going to fail anyway. As Jocko Willink says, when things are going bad, there's going to be some good that's going to come from it. You need to have the right attitude. If you fail, understand that something good can come out of it. So let's say you apply for a job. You send your CV, you go to the interview, and you don't get the job. Good. Let's take a look at the CV. Let's see what I need to change in order to make my candidacy better. Or you want to apply for you're pitching to an investor and you make your presentation and you go and you give your speech and everything and you don't get the money. Good. Let's work on our value proposition. Let's work on our product. Let's get better. So this is extremely important. If you fail, and you are going to fail, you need to stop getting all bummed out, stop getting depressed, stop getting frustrated. You need to get up, you need to dust off, you need to reload and go on the attack. Which leads me to my next point. Aggressive. When you are ready to take off from that platform, you need to be 100% committed to give everything you have. You cannot just go over there and, want to sort of try to go for the trick. No. If you do that, you are going to get hurt. Or even worse, you're going to get hurt somebody else. You need to be ready, you need to be committed, and you need to put everything every single time you perform. It should be the same way in life. Even more, aggressive should be your default mode. And just to make things clear, when I'm talking about aggressive, I'm not talking about being a bully. I'm not talking about confronting people. I'm not talking about being pushy. No, that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is about having this will to win. About this unstoppable spirit and the drive to keep going, to use every single asset, to use every single tactic and strategy you can in order to accomplish whatever you want to do. That's what I'm talking about. So, when you see an opportunity, don't be passive and wait and procrastinate. Instead, aggressively and decisively go for it. And you need to understand, you cannot wait for things to happen. You need to make them happen. And once you start going, again, you need to be completely committed. I love this phrase by Christopher Phelps. He says, you don't get what you want. You don't get what you think you deserve. You get what you are committed to. Be aggressive. Next one, practice. The first time I tried the flying trapeze, I was about 18, 19 years old. I was not a gymnast. I was not a small kid, growing up, rolling around and doing, gymnastics. I started very late. And actually, I got to a point that I become a very well, let's say, respected trapeze flyer because of the work that I put, because I practice every day, 6, 7 days a week, every single day. I was trying, and I was working on it, and I was practicing. And you need to understand that the key to expert performance is deliberate practice, even more than natural talent. And this is applicable in everything. Whether it is you want to try to learn a new instrument or you want to learn a new sport, whether it is in your professional life. How many times you had to do a presentation for a client? And how many times do you practice? Be honest with yourself. Most of the times, you just wing it. You put a bunch of PowerPoint slides, you put them over there, you go in front of the client, you try to make it work, and then surprise, surprise, you don't get the client, right? Your customers. How many times have you practiced interactions with your customers? How many times have you thought about different scenarios? What if the customer reacts in a different way? What if they say this? What if they say that? If you don't practice, you are not going to know. And this is going to have a negative impact on your business. So again, practice, practice, practice. Execution. These pictures that I've been showing you is a picture of a trick called the passing lip. This is a very spectacular trick that, as you can see, requires not one flyer, but 2 flyers in the air at the same time. This is a trick that is a dream for every single trapeze artist. Everybody wants to do it. And I was fortunate enough to be able to do it. And actually, this is a picture of the first time I caught the passing lip. Now, the reason why we managed to catch it, me and my team, is not because we talk about it. It's not because we read a book about it or because somebody told us how to do it. The reason why we caught it is because we worked our butts off in order to be able to do it. And we practiced, and we trained, and we did it every single day until we caught the damn trick. And time again, I see a lot of people with a lot of great ideas, thinking about it and talking about it, but they're doing nothing about it. You need to understand, it's not about ideas. It's about making ideas happen. So, if you have an idea, stop talking about it and instead prioritize what are the things that you need to do and execute. Because only then is when you're going to be able to find out if you're going to be able to do it. Which leads me to my next point. Zero in. When I'm talking about zero in, I'm talking about focus. When I am on the flying trapeze, I am not thinking about anything else. I am not thinking about what I did yesterday. I am not thinking what I'm going to do tomorrow. I'm not looking at the audience. I'm not thinking about anything else. The only thing that is in my mind is my fellow flyer. And I look at every single move, every single thing he does. And this is the reason why we are able to perform and catch the tricks. And I don't understand why, in our real life, in our life, I see this tendency to glorify being busy. Glorify being multitasking, right? How many of you are proud of the fact that you're great multitaskers? Yeah, I'm great good, I'm doing this, and I'm doing 3 projects and this, and I'm always busy, oh my God, on phone calls and emails and stuff. And we feel good about that, right? And the problem is that we think that we need to be juggling many products and many ideas and many projects in order to feel successful. Well, I have news for you. Juggling is an illusion. And I'm going to show you. When you see me juggling, it looks like I'm doing a lot of things, right? Well, in reality, I'm only doing one thing. I'm throwing the ball, and I'm catching it. That's it. I throw, and I catch. I throw, and I catch. Of course, now I'm doing it a little bit faster, but that's another topic. The point is, You are doing one thing. And if you do one thing, and that's your entire focus, you're going to be able to be more effective. So stop glorifying being busy and multitasking and start focusing on doing one thing well, because that's what is going to make the difference. And the last one is experience. If you have the opportunity to go to a good circus show, or not even circus, it could be any performance, you will realize that the great shows, the great performance, are not just a bunch of tricks put together, but it's actually a performance in which every single interaction, every single point on the entire show has been designed in order to engage and interact with the audience. Has been designed for you to feel better, to be happy, to enjoy the performance. Every single part of the show has a flow. And this is the approach that you should have when every single relationship you have. And I'm talking about at work, with your employees, with your boss, at home, with your family, with your customers. Because you need to understand, I'm talking about emotions, I'm talking about the connection and the engagement that you have with other people. Maya Angelou once said that people will forget what you said. People will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. So think about that. Every single time you interact, every single time you connect, every single time you engage, that's what, at the end of the day, is going to have an impact on the loyalty that you have with your employees, with your team, with your customers. So stop thinking about, techniques and ways to do it, and start focusing on needs, wants, behaviors, emotions, because that's what is going to make the difference. So, here you have them. Timing, resilience, aggressive, practice, execution, zero in, and experience. And right now you have a choice. I just share with you some cool ideas that I think will be valuable. And today, actually, the entire day, you've been here listening to fantastic speakers, giving you tons of information, tons of knowledge, tons of very valuable ideas. The question is, what are you going to do about that? Are you going to be inspired by a couple of days and then go back to the office and business as usual? Or are you going to go from knowing about it into doing it? You need to understand that opportunities don't happen, you create them. And that requires taking action. So, before I go, I want to thank you very much for being here today. It has been an amazing event. It has been an amazing experience. And before I go, I want to give you a little secret. Among trapeze artists, when we leave to our next location where we're going to be performing, we don't say good luck or all the best. We say fly high. And today I want to wish you all to fly high. Thank you very much.